I have been the victim of fake news. At the beginning of my political career, there was an article about a father that is not mine and a grandfather that is not mine. The information was published on a well-recognized media outlet in Romania. This is why I'm calling for proper and adequate tools that will allow, first of all, for citizens to feel and be protected, and on the second part, make sure that journalists, social media platforms really react in a positive way when this type of false rumors and false information is affecting them.
Some years ago, not now, but some years ago, yes. But I mean, it's not about me, of course, it's about the European Parliament. And it's true that sometimes you also see through WhatsApp groups or through posts in Facebook, for example, people circulating or disseminating images of maybe someone who is in a room which doesn't belong to the European Parliament and telling, look what happens in the European Parliament. This is not the European Parliament, and this is something which is not happening in the European Parliament.
When there were, for example, pictures taken from a certain context and used to illustrate, I don't know, a child crossing the border by himself, while that child was not alone. He was actually accompanied by parents, but that's something that spread a lot. Well, the first thing that you do, and I did it, was to check with different sources to see whether that was true or not. But the reality is that for some days, everybody or almost everybody thought that was the case, that was the situation.
Look, I'm reading every day things where I realize very fast that those are not true. So in order to not be a victim of fake news, I do the following. Firstly, I try to read just sources which I trust. I do not read sources which I do not trust, and I say very clearly, stay away from them. So whatever is viral, I'm 3 times more skeptical about it. So I read just some trustworthy sources. I don't fall victim to things that are viral, and I try to think, when I read.
I am not only the victim, but I'm more or less trying to experiment that by subscribing to different social media groups to understand what kind of content is creating there. If you want to be representative and you want to understand exactly what's happening in your society, you need to understand the other opinions, the other people's opinions as well. So I am actually part of various groups that goes from dismantling the state, completely, firing up everything that we have in my constituency in Romania or at EU at large. And I have the huge array of things, supporters of Russia and Putin, criticism of Ukraine, things related again to the fact that the EU wants to disregard Christmas and deny the rights of people to celebrate Christmas. So there is a wide array of disinformation and fake news that are happening there. So it allows me to deconstruct and respond and talk to the people about how we can have an anti-campaign, to have a positive campaign that would actually explain.
It's a war on your mind, and it's extremely efficient. Just because the age in politics is so high, maybe people just don't understand how pernicious and how dangerous fake news is, and how well social media platforms can be twisted.
It affects all the news about the fact that the European Union is imposing Europeans to eat insects. That affects me because I work in the Agriculture Committee in the European Parliament, and of course this is not true. It affects my daily work in the Parliament, because we have to deal with many files and with many misinformation, and in addition to this we have to also explain basic things like no, European Union is not imposing you to eat insects or whatever.
You know, it's gossip, it's people talking bad things or untruthful things about you. This happened since there were people on this planet. The difference is now that everyone sees a tweet or a Facebook post.
I don't think that fighting against disinformation should come with the effect of reducing freedom of speech. In the case of fake news or disinformation, I think that it's not about censorship. It's mostly about avoiding, helping these fake news to circulate, to be disseminated.
But I think you can manage that if you have the tools. Now we're coming back to the tools. If the social media environment and the classical media environment is able to provide the tools to fight against misinformation, lies, slander, all these kinds of things, yeah, it's not nice for people to talk bad things about it. But
Europe should definitely invest more in combating fake news, but without member states putting money there, the effort is rather symbolic and hopeless.
And I'm also aware that other people would want to manipulate me as a citizen every day and use me as an individual in their own interest. And this I keep always in my mind. Why is the journalist who is writing this? Is it for his own good? Is it for just the good of a media outlet owner, or is it just for the public good? And if the answer is not that it's for the public good, then I'm skeptical about it.